Hey, this is Tim from Jeep Tubes, and you're listening to the XJ Talk Show.
Yes, everybody get down and disco. No, disco's not dead. It's just merely sleeping. Hey, this is Tony. You know me as Mutteroy from the XJ Talk Show and xjtalk.com, the premier Jeep Cherokee website on the internet. So we will be doing our show tonight, just waiting for Josh to call in. And Tammy, Jeep Mama, is going to be doing her Wrangler Talk segment live tonight. So you can look forward to that. And, well, if you're not already in our on our website, xjtalkshow.com, you should go over there and get yourself situated in chat and make yourself known. Sit back, listen to the music, and Josh and Tammy. Where's Josh? So Josh has joined us, and I was just saying hello to all the people. Just got the video going out, and like I was saying, you guys make yourself known in chat and sit back and listen, and you can hear some of the shenanigans and goings on in the pre-show. So I'm sure I mentioned, Josh, in chat sometime during this week. Tammy's going to be doing the, let's see, I think she's trying to call in. Just a second. Yeah, maybe not. That might have been your call that just kind of glitched up on the screen. Anyway, so Tammy's going to be calling in and standing by for her live video segment for the Walking Dead, the Wrangler Talk segment.
Sorry, I'm just putting the finishing touches on This Week in Jeep.
No, I think that was yours that I saw kind of come up on the screen, but I'd already answered your call. So, yeah, I was just getting the voicemails. It looks like we've got one from Nikki G and two from Chad. I think he said in the voicemail that we know him on the forum as Mayo.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing Mayo in the chat room every now and again. Mayo.
There she is. Yep, see you there now. Just got to get you centered on the screen. Your audio's real low.
Real low?
Yeah. Well, I'm not very far off.
Okay, how's this?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay.
It'll be quieter whenever we get to your segment. And if you could, move your camera a little, let's see, to your left.
My left.
Yeah, I've got some new. I got Josh like in a. There you go. That's fine. Now let me see if. Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's fine. Basically, what I've got is I've got I got me on one side and Josh on the other side. I guess I'm on the right side to be the angel, and Josh is on the right side to be the devil on your shoulder. So we're just.
So I'm in between.
Yeah, we're just off to your shoulder. So I'm trying a little different look for the insert shots, and this is for the segment that will. I told Tammy that would probably do a little chit chat with her. After her Wrangler Talk segment, a little, maybe a little bit of Q&A or comments on what her segment was about, Josh. So I wanted to be able to show the audience our faces while we were talking to her in a different way than what I was showing it the other night.
Okay.
But looks like I've got it set pretty well. Although I do need to change. I'm a little smaller than you, Josh. I don't want to be accused of making your head look bigger.
No, it's this hair. I need to chop this mop because it's making my head look even more bigger than it really is.
So do I go
They
to
said
Extra
it couldn't
Talk
be
Show
done.
Live? See.
What was that, Tammy?
So to watch the show, I go to XJ Talk Show Live, right?
xjtalkshow.com. Are you looking at the? It should be at the top of the xjtalkshow.com, the very top post. So Tammy's green screen order came in today. No green screen, just the stand,
just the stands.
Box. Oh,
the stands
nice.
to hold it. Yeah.
Well, when we ordered it, it showed a picture with the stands and the green screen, but you don't get the green screen. You have to order that separately. So it will be here tomorrow. So instead, I have my flag up that I bought. So do you have this up live now?
I have the pre-show up live, and they can hear our audio. I'll start the stream about 9:45.
See, I'm not seeing it. I don't know why.
Did you?
You're just gonna see a placeholder, Tammy. You're not gonna see the live video feed. We just have just a static image until we start the broadcast.
Well, it does say pre-show and has the scroll just underneath it.
I forgot you had animation put on that.
Yeah. So at the top of the screen, oh, wait a minute. It says private.
Okay.
Did you have to refresh it?
Yeah. I just typed in extra talk show. So I've got a shot of an insert, the standard one I've used for you, Josh, and I've made another one for Tammy. So I've got that same shot for both you and Tammy, and then for Tammy, I've got one with just you and her, and then one with just her, you and her, and then all three of us.
Sounding awfully professional over there, Tony.
I'm touching things that goes against my nature.
Thought the doctors told you not to do that.
Yeah, well,
I wasn't going to go there.
The foam rubber gloves did do wonders whenever I was 13, 14 years old, but
That's been many years. I chewed through those long ago. It's funny, Josh. I found a lamp, just a simple desk lamp that I was unable to use with all these mini monitors. I don't know if I told you or not. I've got like several monitors here on my desk, and I don't have a place for a lamp anymore. So I dug out that lamp, stuck it behind me. Yeah, you got it. Stuck it behind me, and I'm lighting the green screen behind me with this little crappy lamp, and it almost illuminates the entire background, and I could almost just use the monitor from I don't know if I mentioned these 4 massive monitors that I have, the glow from these monitors illuminating me. You can't see him. You can't see the face he's making.
Are you not entertained?
Eyes is entertained. Thank you. All right, so yeah, go back to my. I've got the voicemails. I just need to edit them. But anyway, there's one from Nikki G, one from Chad or Mayo, and then the second one from Chad or Mayo. I suspect he probably got cut off.
If you're not busy, can you put that in the show notes if you haven't already, just while I finish up this last story?
As soon as I get done editing this audio, I'll do that.
Oh, gotcha.
Hi, this is Eric from BSF Recovery Team, driver of the Extreme Off-Road Wrecker, and you're listening to the XJ Talk Show.
So in case you guys don't know, this is the pre-show. This is the part of the things that we do before the show. Yes, I know the show is supposed to start in a minute, but we're going to be late. It's unusual, I know, but we're going to be a little late. So how much cussing did you do before you realized that you guys had misordered and you actually didn't order a green screen?
Well, I didn't do any. My husband did, because you had already said that. You wouldn't get to it anyway, but he was pretty upset. So I told him it was okay. Tony said he wouldn't be able to get to it tonight anyway. So.
That'll be pretty cool, though. Same background for everybody.
It's funny because my oldest son, he's 15. He was in here. He's like, "Is that for a green screen?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So then he started setting up my light and moving things around. Wow. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, I took lights, camera literacy.
And you of course said, "Oh yeah." Did you
ahead.
remember?
Pardon?
I said, "Did you remember?" But then I thought, don't answer that. Of course you remembered.
Now my audio is still cutting you guys out when I talk. It's kind of like CB radio.
I haven't made any changes here yet, so that'll it shouldn't be a big deal for tonight. It'll be bad if in the chat back and forth, but we'll just try to go one at a time.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to focus on this and stop talking so I can get through it quickly. So you guys chat if you like.
That's why I'm not talking too much, so I can, because I have a hard time talking, reading, and typing all at the same time.
That would be a talent if you could do that.
Seriously.
Richard Goatman Gautier with Team Naxja, Petty Cash Racing the 4643 Jeep Cherokee and Ultra 4, and you're listening to the XJ Talk Show.
So last show we did Amazon You Bought What, right?
Correct.
Good. Thank God.
Yeah, good.
I hate it when I think I'm done and then remember something. So the idea tonight was no Jeep tips. We were just going to have a bit of a chat with Tammy after her Wrangler segment. I'm getting into the show notes now. I'm updating the voicemail.
Okay.
So up on my top monitor, I have Twitter, and it's funny. People have found my tweet that I did a few days ago, and the tweet is. I sent out watching the movie Left Behind, and it dawned on me, after the rapture, liberals will win every election.
Oh, jeez.
So it's people with crosses as their avatars are retweeting this. It's not very Christian. It's a joke, people.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go somewhere a little different with that. Something about Left Behind, and you realize that this movie is not about butt cheeks.
Oh, that'd be a good dad joke, wouldn't it?
Yes. See, that's the level I was expecting from you, Tony. Okay, YouTube subscribers are updated. Mid-roll, I'm going to bring up just a little bit.
You are easily worth double what you get paid. Did you eat tonight?
Yeah, like just right before I came in here. I made some turkey burgers stuffed with smoked Havarti cheese with fresh parsley and garlic mixed in with the meat, and then served that with some homemade steak fries, and a mixed green salad with gorgonzola pear dressing and dried cranberries.
I'm impressed.
Oh, thank you.
You're listening to a 4x4 Radio Network podcast.
Well, I do have that one in red, so that should be the right one. Okay.
And no radio contact this week either, right?
No, John's been slacking.
Okay, no worries.
I mean, I figured if he was doing knobs one week, we would do, jacks and things and on the back.
Hey, this is Mickey G, and I'll talk this week about
Okie dokie.
Why is my...
Oh, it's only 10:08. I think I'm ready.
I am just about ready, yeah.
No rush, as long as I'm not the one holding us up. But I am going to... That background looks good, Tammy.
A Jeep flag?
Yeah, it's a good Wrangler draw as well.
So as you can see on the screen, this is the pre-show, and we will be getting the main show going here momentarily. We will be having a Wrangler Talk segment with Tammy, Jeep Mama, but she's going to be doing it live and with video and everything, not a video as far as off-roading and stuff, but live video from her hacienda there in the Northeast. We actually have Josh in the Northwest. I'll say it correct this one and only time. Over in Portland, and we've got Tammy. You don't mind if I say where you are, do you, Tammy?
No, right outside of D.C.
Yeah, Tammy's over there in Maryland on the East Coast, and I'm right here in what I always call God's time zone, the Central Time, the meaty part of the country in the middle.
Yeah, we got pretty much all the bases covered. Now we just need to find somebody in Canada, and I think we'll be set.
Well, that would be Jensen.
Oh, is he up in the Great White North?
Oh, you
more
didn't
or less,
know?
kind
Oh,
of?
yeah.
I did not know where he was at.
Him and his 60 Jeeps. He collects Jeeps like old women collect cats.
Yeah, that's his
like real
signature,
driving
kinda.
Jeeps or like little toy Jeeps.
They're in various stages, but by the time he gets done with them, they're like new and driving. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's kind of like Matt. He goes out and finds old vehicles to buy, and he fixes them up just kind of as a fun thing, I think. I mean, I think it pays for itself, but I think he just enjoys it. Jensen was the one that was going to fill in as a co-host if you couldn't do it that day, Tammy.
Oh, was he upset?
I don't think so. It was
something about a death threat. He was going to call in a favor. Baseball bats were I don't know. He was going off about something, Tammy, but we couldn't quite make it out.
The worst he would do would be to sell off one of the Jeeps. That would be his retaliation.
There you go.
All right, I'm going to turn my light on and close up a few things to knock down some of the noise.
I'm going to step away 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad I pulled out that that little lamp and tried it. I can see how I can get this big hot lamp out of here. I just need to get a little something that is long enough to fit over one of the monitors to illuminate my face, and only slightly because I don't need. I had this big light so I could illuminate the green screen and myself, and I'm just too close to the light to do both of them effectively. So, taking a tip out of the Josh's green screen lighting handbook.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to put up a post here real quick on Twitter, let everybody know that we are transmitting and getting ready to. I always want to say kick this pig. Love that movie. The Pig Kickers. So I think our downloads on the Bleeping Jeep video was up to 700 and something when I last looked. Well, I was a little disappointed that it wasn't higher. I usually see about 2,000 or so after a couple of days. Maybe we're on track. I'm just a little more sensitive to our video, I think, is the problem. Watched a little bit of it, Josh. It was good.
I think I was there.
You were on your game. Which is, strangely enough, illegal in Arkansas.
I am all set up, Tony. So if we want to kick the pig, then I say let's kick that piggy.
Let's kick this pig. I need to get that drop.
Get that drop.
Let's kick this pig. I'm probably saying it wrong. Where the hell? Just need to get a graphic of the, this one should do. Tweeting. That is tweeted. And I just want to call up the chat room here. If I can. There it is. Well, I see Steve is there with us tonight. And the Paps boys. All right. 15 minutes after the hour, right on time.
Right on time.
Just a bit outside. All right, so cover this up. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Okay, so disclaimer, music. Which one am I going to use? I'll use the Spanish one tonight. Although, what is that? How long is that one? Oh, that's good. It's 10 seconds. Perfect. Oh, it's 15 seconds. It'll run a little over. Okay. Professional fade out. And that one actually did fade. All right. So if you guys are ready, I'll get started. I'm going to mute your mic right now, Tammy, and you'll be back for your segment towards the end of the show.
Good.
All righty. Now we can talk about her. Because we are juvenile. Rhymes with, well, let's get the show started. So, let's see. Yep. Okay. I'm hitting the record button.
The XJ Talk Show is for entertainment purposes only. Any advice or information provided on this show should be verified by alternative sources prior to making any changes or modifications to your vehicle. We are not experts, just people that enjoy the Jeep hobby and don't mind talking endlessly about it. P.S. We love you.
Bienvenidos al XJ Talk Show, un podcast acerca de aventuras off-road en Jeep Cherokees y entrevistas con los que manejan y mueven el mundo de las carreras off-road. Ahora, aquí están sus presentadores, Tony y Josh.
First Week in Jeep.
Oh, we all love a good Jeep feel-good story, and I've got one here for you. Members of the New Brunswick Jeep Club volunteered their time during the late January storm that hit the eastern part of the U.S., and they did it for a good cause, helping local hospital employees get to and from work. Group member Gordon Revelle said, "Our Jeeps are equipped to handle the blowing snow and rough road conditions. We reach out to the hospitals, and when there's no public transportation, the people still need to get to and from work. So we have some great volunteers to step up, and we have the means to get them around." Now, he went on to say that, well, this kind of stuff, guys, really, honestly, I'm just going to stop right here. This is the kind of stuff we need to see and hear more of, people. Not the guy who took the shortcut through the business's lawn out front. No, we don't want to give them the glory. Let's hear more about the thoughtful deeds, good Samaritans out there, and using their hard-earned and well-built Jeeps to give back to the community. That's the kind of stuff we need to hear more of. About a dozen members of the New Brunswick Jeep Club hit the streets to help, including Mike Noble. He says it's nice to help out in some small way to get our doctors and nurses where they need to be. It really feels good at the end of the day. I agree. I've done some good Samaritan deeds myself during some snowstorms, and helping out the local public with your Jeep, man, it does make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside. One of Noble's passengers was Myra Folks, a registered nurse at the Moncton Hospital. She said she didn't realize how bad the driving conditions really were until she actually arrived at work. The service is wonderful, she said. Nice, friendly young men with powerful Jeeps driving old ladies home. It does conjure up a nice image, doesn't it? I think it's a great service they're doing, Ravel said. The service is about helping people in their own special way. We have a great bunch of people here, and we just like to get out and give back, he said. To me, personally, that epitomizes what the bond that makes us all Jeepers. Gordon, Mike, great work, guys, and hats off to you and your club. So, was Jeep's meager appearance in the Super Bowl actually worth anything? Super Bowl advertisers used a variety of tactics to capture the eyeballs that night of the big game, yet there was not one single wardrobe malfunction. Disappointed. Anyway, Chevy tried to strike a little terror in people's hearts while BMW and Kia went heavy on the jokes. Horrible, tacky jokes that no one got with Bryant Gumbel and Katie Couric. James Bond even made an appearance, and the entertainment value was great. And it had better be, with automakers paying costs of nearly $4.5 million for every 30 seconds. Let's not forget why automakers are paying these hefty premiums in the first place. It's all about moving metal. But before they can do that, they need to draw consumers in. So which automakers generated the most interest in their products with their commercials? Well, data from shopping sites Edmunds.com, Autotrader.com, and KellyBlueBook.com show that the Jeep and Fiat Chrysler capitalized on their big moments the most. Michelle Krebs, senior analyst for Autotrader.com, says consumers look for a story, a formula that's a proven winner in the Super Bowl. Let's look at the numbers, shall we? Fiat 500X, traffic increased 14,627%. That's right. There's no decimal in there. During halftime, shortly after its blue pill ad ran, according to Edmunds, BMW i3 traffic increased to 1,807% during halftime following its ad, and Chevy Colorado its search activity jumped 421% during halftime when its ad was still fresh in people's minds. The Jeep Renegade spot aired in the third quarter, and I was hoping that none of you saw it, but it did lead to an immediate 1,031% traffic boost during the fourth quarter alone. Edmunds says the traffic increase was a total of 5,720%. That's a lot of people looking at the Jeep Renegade as far as percentage increase goes. Need to find these people and beat some sense into them. No, I'm kidding. Auto Traders Krebs says Fiat Chrysler was the big winner in the end. Fiat brand traffic increased 143% on the site overall, and Dodge traffic even saw a 27% bump, a strong number for a mass market brand. The 2015 Jeep Cherokee has been investigated officially for engine fires. The National Traffic Highway Safety Administration, I'm trying to mask my glee here, has launched an investigation of the 2015 Jeep Cherokee after one California driver claimed that her vehicle was consumed by a fire less than 2 days after she purchased it. Well, there was her first mistake. She shouldn't have bought one in the first place. A complaint posted to NHTSA's website explains that the owner noticed an oily smell while driving the vehicle. After parking the Cherokee at her home, white smoke began emerging from beneath the hood. Seconds later, the car was engulfed in flames 20 feet high, and burning oil ran down the street for 50 yards. The vehicle was purchased new on January 2nd, 2015, and it reportedly had fewer than 100 miles on the odometer. The incident happened on January 4th and was captured on video, actually. Typically, it takes more than one complaint to trigger a formal safety probe like this. However, given the severity of the incident, the newness of the vehicle, and to be honest, the fact that it was captured on film and broadcast on the evening news, not to mention it's a new Cherokee, the NHTSA has chosen to take action quite right now, in fact. To date, 21 complaints about the 2015 Jeep Cherokee have been filed with the NHTSA. That's not counting the 403 complaints from right here at the XJ Talk Show. Many have dealt with the model's transmission, that buggy industry-first 9-speed transmission that fell flat on its face from before the vehicle was even launched. But it appears that only one other owner has noticed smoke coming from the engine compartment. Unfortunately, the owner did not have the vehicle examined by a dealer and was killed in a fire explosion that no one ever heard of. No. The NHTSA's preliminary evaluation is the first in a 3-step recall process. During this phase, the NHTSA investigators will work with Jeep to identify patterns of failure and possible causes of the fire. The problem has the potential to reoccur in other Cherokee vehicles, which we have nothing to worry about in our Cherokee vehicles. The probe will move to an engineering analysis, during which NHTSA will attempt to recreate the problem itself. I'm pretty sure I can recreate the problem. Just a little bit of gasoline in a match. Get that lighted up real quick. Depending on how those tests go, the agency could call for a formal recall of the 2015 Jeep Cherokee. The rare and not often mentioned fourth step would wipe them all out of existence and pretend the abomination of this name badge never existed. A recall would affect roughly 50,000 embarrassed vehicle owners in the U.S. What do you guys think is going to happen? Will a Cherokee get recalled? Will there be nothing more than a slap on the wrist? Or will we see the reclaiming of our beloved name badge by a genocide of a vehicle that never should have gotten one to begin with? Make sure you subscribe to the XJ Talk Show, and we'll keep you up to date. Hey, guys, keep up the great work, and keep those stories coming in. I'm getting a lot of them each and every week. I actually had to pick and choose this week, so if you didn't hear your story, by all means, keep submitting, and I'll be sure to get it on This Week in Jeep. Big thanks to John, Pre-Runner 1982, and A Jeeper for Life for submitting these stories this week. If you would like to submit a story to be aired on This Week in Jeep, or if you have a response to any one of our stories, please send an email to newstips@xjtalkshow.com.
So I left you a little note in there about the 15-second pre-roll.
Oh, jeez. I didn't see the chat.
That's all right. And your video just froze.
No, it's still frozen.
Okay.
All right.
I think Skype's acting up a second. Let's give it a second. Skype is acting up. And then give her about 5 seconds, and then go ahead and do the pre-roll.
All right. Detours USA, custom builds for various make or model of vehicle, all original designs, and all and right here in the USA. Visit detoursusa.com for more details. That's detoursusa.com.
Wow, it is really messing up. You got about halfway through that when it messed up.
Oh, dang it.
That's strange.
Should I just try calling back here? Try a new connection real
quick?
Yeah,
let's do that. Let's do that.
All right. How are we doing now?
Yeah, it seems to be fine, but you know how it is. It's
yeah,
second to second. Your audio sounds a little different this time, though.
Yeah, every time I hang up and call you back, it always sounds really weird. I mean, you sound like you're a million miles away, and your volume level is half of what it normally is, and then it kind of warms up. It takes a little while to get going.
Yeah, we actually have some hissing noise in the background on yours now, so let's make that connection one more time.
Weird.
Yeah, it is. Oh, the funs of a live show.
Just all blue, get some hissing and noise and stuff, huh?
You know, it's strange. I'm getting a yellow indicator from you, which it usually doesn't act up like this unless it's all red.
That's interesting. I've got good call quality as far as everything goes. I mean, I'm yellow, white, yellow. It's going back and forth.
All right. You don't seem to be. Well, it's not quite clear. Just waiting for things to stabilize. It's still having some problems there with you. It's funny. For the whole time we were in the pre-show, there was no issues whatsoever.
Yeah, and I haven't done anything. I went ahead and minimized everything except for the show notes, because I don't think it's got to be Skype.
Well, it's the bandwidth and how Skype is dealing with the lack of bandwidth. Let me go check with the fam and make sure they're not doing something that is affecting my bandwidth here. And I'll throw up some music here real quick, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
No, we're not doing anything different here. Not downloading anything or streaming anything, so...
I mean, I just turned the Wi-Fi off of my phone. It wasn't downloading anything or anything like that, so the TV's not even on in the living room, so I have no idea what's going on here.
All right, well, let's give it another shot. We may just have to suffer through.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat room was saying max headroom in the show tonight.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring up go ahead and switch back over to the live your live video, and you can do the 15-second pre-roll again.
All right.
It is bad.
Already done.
Hang on, it is bad.
No, we can just throw up a static image of me, I guess. I don't know.
The audio's bad.
Oh, the audio's bad.
Yeah.
What the heck?
I mean, your audio is literally chopping. Let me bring Tammy up. Let me bring Tammy up here real quick. Hey, Tammy. Right. Let's just do a little check here with you and see how your video and audio is.
I'm right here. You hear me?
Yep. So
sound okay?
Yeah. It must be something going on over there in your neck of the woods, Josh.
Huh, interesting. Yeah, but I'm seeing the live feed right now, and that is horrible. Yeah, Skype is not cooperating tonight, or the interwebs are not. I'm looking at my status. I don't even have anything going on in the background on the machine either.
No, I'm pretty sure this would just be a bandwidth issue, and so let's go ahead and try calling. Let's continue to call back in until we can establish a good connection. Is the best thing I can figure, because I don't think we're going to be able to continue on with it.
It has nothing to do with me being in here.
Well, that was one of the reasons why I thought I'd bring you up, and if you both were doing the same thing, then it potentially could be a bandwidth issue coming down to me. I mean, I've got a lot of download bandwidth available. And with hearing your audio, which is fine, and your video, which is very clear and smooth, and Josh is not.
At her video,
yeah, and Josh is not.
Her video looks great.
Yeah, so it's not on my side. It's not on your side. So anyway, Josh is going to call back in. Tammy, I'm going to put you back on mute. And Skype has the nerve to bring up a little thing wanting a call quality feedback for me to fill out. Yeah, I don't do those surveys anyway. God, I get sick of seeing those things. Seems like every time you go to a website these days, you see something about want you to rate their service or how good the website was or something. And gee whiz, I don't have time for all that crap. Skype gave me a call quality survey to fill out whenever you hung up, Josh. That's what I was commenting on.
Yeah, I get those probably about 1 out of every 3 or 4 shows.
Still doing the same thing.
Weird. God, I mean, the other thing I could think of is if you want to give me 2 or 3 minutes, I'll restart my machine.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
I apologize, guys, but I don't think you guys want to listen to Josh with that kind of an issue. Ooh, I know what I can do. I can put up the test pattern. Fortunately, we never get to use the test pattern. Never have that issue where we have to apologize for technical difficulties. But we certainly do tonight. I think while Josh is restarting, I'll just chat a bit here with Tammy. Tammy, what's going on today? Anything other than being upset about not getting the order that you ordered or thought you were getting?
No, just typical, mom stuff, homework and dinner, and
they make you do homework around there. I would raise hell. Why would anybody make a mom do homework? That's not right.
Yeah, I know. I'm retaking U.S. history.
Gee, is it as much fun the second time?
Actually, I find it more interesting now than I did when I was in high school. I think I can appreciate it better.
Yeah, it's. I remember my dad always telling me he wished that he had, and of course at the time I think I was thinking of it as, oh, this is just an underhanded way of trying to get me to pay more attention in school. He said, I wish I had paid more attention in school when I was in school. And I'm like, yeah, Dad, okay, I just got to go
whatever,
take a nap.
Whatever. So I'm planning out my my blogs, my upcoming blogs, and I'm trying to work in some of my mods that I want to do to the Jeep, little mini mods. So that's what I'm doing today too.
So, well, I don't want you to give anything away, but I know you've done the little purple inserts on the grill, and what was the other thing? I know you did the purple hands on the mirrors, but you did something else with. Oh, that's all right. I saw a picture of that the other day. I think
I'm
on
going to
Google
put
Plus.
this on my shifter.
So does that match the shifter that you put on the transfer case?
Yes, it matches. It's supposed to be an easier replacement, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think it was you and your husband that were trying to get that get that transfer case.
I just wasn't strong enough, and he was afraid. I mean, he knew he could pull it off, but he just didn't want to break anything.
No, especially with a brand new vehicle, and no telling where that hand and that knob is going to go when you do get it off, and what it's going to damage. Yeah,
they say you got to be careful, or it's going to hit you right in the face if you pull too hard.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, Josh is calling back in. Let's see if we got any love from YouTube, not YouTube, from Skype. All right, Josh, just sitting here talking to Tammy.
All right, and I don't know how I sound. I went through a full machine restart, and hopefully that has taken care of it. I don't know. I've checked through the house, making sure that nobody's downloading anything or streaming a movie or anything, and nothing is going on except for right here in the studio. So I have no idea what's going on, if it's still acting up.
Yeah, it's still
gotta
acting
be a
up.
Skype.
Yeah, it's still acting up. So if the audio itself can actually line out, I'm not so concerned about the video, but we'll just give it here a couple of. Your video is looking a little better, so I'm thinking that it might shape up. And I'm still confused because I'm still confused because I have the yellow call indicator, which should be fine.
Yeah, I mean, at least for average video and decent audio.
Let's see, connection. The connection speed between us, okay, is slow. Your connection is fast enough for audio calls and low quality video. Both of you should stop sharing programs, downloads, and uploads to speed up your connection. Well, isn't that special? Oh, well, I was downloading the Encyclopedia Britannica. I guess I could stop that.
Yeah, I don't, my Dropbox is even up to date. I don't have anything that's coming in or going out other than Skype.
Okay, you're sounding fine now. Let's see if it stays that way.
I mean, yeah, my bar graph is yellow, which isn't uncommon.
So I think this is gonna the time on the show is gonna be a bit off. I guess we'll just run it to the end and not worry so much about the time, because I think we've spent about 10 minutes on this.
Yeah, good 10 minutes.
So let's go ahead and try the 15-second pre-roll again and see if we can get through that. So
all right.
Give it 5, and then you're on and ready to go.
USA custom built for very maker model and all guessing screwing up my audio instantly. That's just fantastic. It's weird. Like right in the middle of everything, it decides to just act up.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm not glitching over here. My video is smooth. I'm not hearing any artifacts in my audio. Let me completely drop my. No, there's no weird noise.
No, I don't get the feeling that it's anything with your equipment. It's all the bandwidth utilization. How often do you restart your router over there, your ISP equipment?
Not often, maybe once a month or so. Yeah, I did it just a few weeks ago.
But you've done it before. It wouldn't. It's going to take you offline, but you could restart that and reestablish and.
give it a shot.
Yeah, if anything, if anything is downloading or going across there, it would stop it whenever you restarted that unit.
All right. Well, I'm going to leave the machine on, and obviously the connection is going to drop. So I'm just going to go ahead and close the connection here. But I guess I'll go reset the router, and I'll be back here in just a few minutes.
Okay. Thanks. All right. So I think everybody's keeping up with what's going on here. Josh is having some internet connection issues, and we are busily and hurriedly, making up those words as I go, trying to come up with a solution so we can continue on with the show. With the way the internet works, I'm frankly very surprised that we don't have these kind of issues more often. And we've done, Josh and I have done over, I guess, close to 2 years worth of shows, and not had a significant issue. I mean, we've had little burps and bobbles in the Skype video and audio, but something usually cleans up really quick. So don't know what to tell you. It's I guess it's a miracle it's worked this well for this long. So looking at the chat room, Ron D says, "Damn terrorists even invade XJ Talk." We've got a pretty good lively crew in the chat room tonight. So if you guys haven't been to the live show and you've been watching the YouTube video, the recorded version of the live show, you should join us at 10 p.m. Thursday night, and you get to live through all these crappy issues, seldom though that they happen, live and in color. Just go to xjtalkshow.com. So some of you may be aware, I have a set of security cameras set up around the house. It's not like I'm concerned about anybody breaking in or anything. I just, from when I was much younger, I thought how cool it would be to be able to sit inside and look outside. And when you hear something, or I don't know, there's a thunderstorm and all kinds of crap, instead of hanging out by the front door waiting for lightning to strike you, you can sit in the comfort of your house and wait for one of your cameras to get hit by lightning. So I've got several cameras set up, and the dog started barking, so I figured it was my wife and my oldest daughter coming back home. And for some reason, my wife likes to back her Wrangler into the garage. It's like she was going to make a quick getaway or something. To me, it's just a big pain in the ass to try to back a four-wheel drive into a garage, but that's what she does. So I'm watching on one of the cameras, watching her back into the garage, and I always think she's backing in too fast, but she manages not to damage the Jeep or anything in the garage. So she's got the Jeep all the way in the garage. I can't see it at all, and then all of a sudden, here it comes, and it rolls all the way out into the driveway, and there's a brief pause, and I start seeing the garage door close, and boom, she's off. She's back on the road, traveling on the road. So I sent my oldest daughter a text saying, well, that was interesting, and she responded back in short order, LOL, Mom wanted a Coke. So they were going off to the store to buy some Coke, because my wife really likes Coke. And so I told my daughter, I said, "Oh yeah, Diet Dr. Pepper would be great." Oh, I'm sorry, that's right. I wasn't asked if I wanted anything. So anyway, I'm drinking Diet Dr. Pepper right now because they brought me some Diet Dr. Pepper back. I like the Dr. Pepper. I like the Diet Dr. Pepper because I don't taste any difference between it and regular Dr. Pepper. So again, we're just waiting here for Josh to reset a few things over there in the hopes that is going to clean up his connection to the internet, and we can get a good quality Skype signal for video and audio, like we have from Tammy right now. Tammy has ordered a green screen background, so she's going to be sporting the
the XJ Talk background when we have her doing her segments live, and hopefully we don't have problems like this too often, so she doesn't have to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning doing a show or waiting to do a show. Let's see, what else do I have here? I don't care for that one. We'll play it anyway. I need to put some more music on the board for these fun situations. Let's go over here to the chat room, see what people are talking about. Ron D says you should get that test pattern on a t-shirt. That's an old test pattern. I don't know how old you guys are, but I remember actually seeing that test pattern when I was a kid, and that's how I came up with the XJ Talk name. No, I mean the the one with the Indian and the full war headdress going there. And of course, it was a 4x3 picture. It wasn't a 16:9. I had to kind of modify this one so it would fill the widescreen format. You know, it surprises me. I'll be watching television on the widescreen HD TVs, and people are still making commercials in the old 4:3 format, and I don't understand why. I mean, a telephone. I mean, your cell phone will take an HD video. They can't, use just a crappy ass little HD camera to do their commercials. I'm sure they're trying to. They're probably targeting their audience, and hell, I don't know. Maybe if you have a 4x3 video, standard definition video, maybe that's less. Maybe the television station where you're advertising doesn't charge you as much for that as they do in HD, which certainly would make sense why they do it. But I think it just makes them look cheap. So I don't want to jinx myself, but my Jeep, after the engine being replaced here over the last, I guess it was right before Thanksgiving, whenever it was all done and I was driving it, have not had any further issues, with the exception of a bit of a temperature spike when I'm on the highway, but it cools off pretty quick. So I did get a thermostat this past weekend, and I have not installed it. The temps have cooled down a little bit here. The outside temps, the air temps, have cooled down a little bit here, so I'm not seeing those spikes at all. But probably this weekend I'll be changing out that thermostat to see if I don't have maybe a little sticky thermostat issue, because it'll get up to around 235 degrees coming home one day. But of course, that was I think it was one of those days that we had like 80-degree weather. But we're back into the 40s, maybe even upper 30s tonight. Let's see, I better check my text messages to make sure Josh isn't trying to contact me, because he has not called back in yet. Speak of the devil. All right, let's see if a miracle happened.
Oh, God, I hope so. Maybe. At this point, I think we've just about tried everything. Well, almost, at least on my end.
That is so strange.
Well, apparently it's not worked.
Well, still waiting for it to, level out.
Mellow out a little bit.
Yeah,
get warmed up. Get used to these mellow tones coming over the pipelines.
Let the tubes warm up and getting to their operating temperature.
Yes.
So I'll let you do a little talking, and we'll see what it's doing.
Well, I mean, the only thing I can think of would be a bandwidth issue, but I mean, we did an entire mock show with all three of us connected and didn't have any issues that I knew of. So why this is popping up now, I have no idea. Well, and obviously literally nothing has changed other than I shut the computer off and turned it back on since last night's show. So
Well, it's the internet, and with Tammy's video and audio, with her being clean here, it's not the bandwidth to me from my ISP. It's going to be something on your side, not in your house. Something.
Yeah, I guess my ISP upload is deciding to freak out.
Well, that's the bad thing about cable, is because cable is shared amongst several people, and somebody else, one of your neighbors that is on the same segment that you are, could be doing something just horrendous, a horrendous download, sucking up all the bandwidth. So
how dare you?
Exactly. It's the same thing I always say about the elderly couple downloading the porn, watching the video, and sucking up all your bandwidth. Do you ever do those speed tests from your?
I haven't in a while. It's probably been easily since the summer.
So if you were to run a speed test right now, it probably would tell you what your upload and download speeds are at this moment, because it will vary depending on how much activity is going on with your internet service provider and in the cable situation, other people that are on your segment.
So I'm doing a test right now. My download speed is just under 11 megabytes per second.
Wow, that's great.
But that's not what I'm really concerned about right now.
Yeah, this is upload.
My upload is 4.06 megabytes per second.
There's nothing wrong with that. You don't even need a megabyte.
No, I mean, not for what we're doing. So yeah.
So are you still doing the high def, the 1920 by 1080?
God, I should be. I haven't changed anything. So here, I got to stop my video to you so I can bring up the controls.
Well, actually, just run it without video for a little bit and see if the audio cleans up, and that might be.
Maybe that's all it takes. Is Skype was just wigging out because I'm sending too much video, and I didn't like the audio or whatever. So let's see, advanced settings.
It just lost its mind.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it sounded okay.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
I mean, there's some artifacts with your audio, so it's not right, but it's not tripping out.
Let's see here. No, that should be all. Where is that one?
You want to drop your video back down to what you used to send it as and see if that makes a difference?
Let me see. I'm trying to get to this one setting here. Hold on. Yeah, I am at 1080p, widescreen format. I mean, right now, if I'm not even sending video, then it shouldn't matter what the settings are.
No, your audio is fine at this moment.
Yeah. So.
I mean, it sounds.
It is fine at this moment. Okay. Well, what do I just? All right. Well, then let me do. I
mean, it has some artifacts to it, like you need to do a reconnection, but I mean, it's not wigging out where it does the max headroom thing to your audio.
Okay. Well, I'm going to drop it down to 720p. Let me close this. Save that. Close that.
It's funny because you have more than enough bandwidth to be able to handle.
Yeah.
Because I think a 1080 is like 1.5 megabit with audio. So.
Oh, geez. Okay. All right. Let me. I brought the video setting down. Let me try another connection, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. We're working through this, guys. At some point, somebody's going to say, Houston, we have a problem.
Brought to you in live and living color, a full whopping 720p.
Yeah, it's still high def, you know.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why it's giving us a hard time with the indicator that the quality indicator is not. I mean, it's not like it's red. It's really strange.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you've restarted your system. You restarted your connection to the internet.
And we've determined I've got more than enough bandwidth to make this happen properly. So,
yeah. Well, and it doesn't have to be in your area. It just has to be along the path from where you are to here. And it doesn't even have to be here close by to me. It could be somewhere in between. There may have been a nuclear strike that we're not quite aware of yet. And we're routing through China. So give me a little audio.
Yeah, and I don't know where Skype's main servers are anyways. I mean, obviously we're going through them. So, yeah, they could be experiencing a lot of high traffic right now. And we're, running on some sort of back channel server that system that they don't use much anymore. And yeah, obviously the equipment is a little antiquated, and we're getting the short end of the stick as far as it's all concerned. So
it's not as bad as it was. And I think that the Skype servers actually do the handshaking that connects us together. But once we establish, we're point to point. So I think we're talking, our systems are talking to one another after it hands off, because that way they don't have to have a lot of servers and things to handle all this crap.
See, I didn't think that was the way they did it, and that's why we had the mobile aspect of things. That was a piece.
And even at one point, I don't know if they still do it or not, Skype was actually using your Skype connection on your PC when it was running to actually route calls. So as your computer was just sitting there with Skype running in the background.
Oh, they were using it to
route, connections places. So it was very distributed, and also too, it was designed for them not to have a large infrastructure. And I think people got kind of pissed off about that. I actually would not let mine start with Windows, and I would completely close down Skype altogether because, hey, I don't want you using my internet. You didn't ask permission, right. And I'm using my internet for other things other than your business model. So
yes.
Okay. Well, I was talking a little bit to see if it was going to line out. I'm not seeing your video change. I'll let you talk a little bit.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to sit here and blabber on about virtually nothing for at least a few seconds so we can figure out what's going on with this thing. I'm going to peak my audio a little bit, get all excited, and start throwing things here in a minute. I don't know.
Let's try that 15-second pre-roll. So let me get you up here and set up properly. And when you're ready.
Detours USA, custom builds for various makes or model of vehicle, all original designs and all made right here in the USA. Visit detoursusa.com for more details. That's detoursusa.com.
xjtalk.com is where you go when you're not off-road. And now you can go to xjtalk.com when you're off-road too. Using your smartphone, install the Tap a Talk app, then search for XJ Talk. Take XJ Talk with you wherever you go. Jury duty, dinner with your spouse's parents, even, well, anywhere you need your XJ Talk fix.
xjtalk.com. It's where you go when you're not off-road.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. The one just sitting there listening to the XJ Talk Show. Why aren't you a part of it? What? Tell me more, you say? Well, it's pretty simple. You can become an XJ Talk Show reporter. All you need is a smartphone and the ability to talk to people. Just email reporter@xjtalk.com for more information.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Over 150,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, your MP3 player. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial over at www.audible.com/xjtalkshow.
Well, Josh, I don't know about you, but I feel like I've been doing this show for hours.
It seems that way, doesn't it?
Hey, you know me as Motorroy on xjtalk.com, and of course right here on the XJ Talk Show. And well, you know my friend over there on the East Coast.
Max Headroom.
We've been having some technical issues tonight, fellas, and if we're doing our job well, you unless you were here with a live show, you're not going to notice it at all. So of course we're here, just a couple of knuckleheads with some cameras, some webcams, some green screens, and fancy microphones, and we're putting on a little show. It's like one of those old Andy Hardy movies where somebody always says, "Hey, my dad's got a barn. Let's put on a show." But we're doing it the high tech.
Timely reference. Yes. Timely reference.
Thank you. I spent a lot of time with a television and one of those knobs that goes watching those old movies. But so that's all we're doing here. We're just putting on a little show. We're nothing special. We just like Jeeps, and we thought we would talk to you guys about it and see if we could get everybody together and join in and hold hands and sing Kumbaya. And speaking of singing Kumbaya, you can come over to xjtalk.com, a Jeep Cherokee forum that is it's a lot of fun, Josh. And there's been a lot of people finding us recently.
Yeah, there has actually, from various YouTube channels to, just word of mouth. And that's where you guys come in. If you know somebody who's a Jeeper, you know somebody who's got a Jeep Cherokee even, or somebody who's new to Jeeping, or even a veteran guy who, one of those guys who's got all the cool fab stuff in his garage, turn them on to xjtalk.com. And of course, turn them on to the XJ Talk Show as well. And I bet you they're going to have a good time as well.
I just don't see how they wouldn't have a good time, Josh. Well, that's enough of that. Let's get on to our voicemails.
Hey, this is Tony.
And this is Josh from the XJ Talk Show. We want to thank you for calling our 24/7 voice line.
Yes, we do. Just leave your first name and your question or comment.
There's no guarantee, but we may play your message on the podcast.
Oh, and don't worry about keeping it clean. We'll take care of that.
Now it's your turn to speak at the beep.
Hello, Tony and Josh. It's Chad, also known as Mayo on the forums. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for having this forums and the podcast. I give it 5+ stars. I for some reason, can't do any reviews on iTunes for some reason. But anyway, there's my review. Excellent show. I'd like to touch on a quick question about fender flares. Right now, I don't have any fender flares on my XJ. I've been driving like that for about almost 2 years now, and I've been getting a lot of cops are starting to look my way, and I've gotten away with it this long now. So hopefully I can get this resolved. One of the things I'm questioning is I have my fender flares cut. The factory flares, what I basically did was I traced a line up around the top of the fender flares and then cut up there. So I have a pretty large cut on my flares. And I've looked at the Bushwhackers, the cut versions, and I've looked at several others, but I really can't figure out what will apply to my situation. What will work, and just kind of wanted to know what your thoughts were on them, as even with the Jeeping community, what other people have done. I thought about fabbing my own, but I just have so much stuff going on that so many projects for the Jeep that I just want to get something quick. So I don't know, just get your thoughts on what type of flares are out there, what will work. My rear is a cut and fold as well, so I'd have to get something for the rear. I'm running 1250s, 33s, so with offset rims. So I mean, the tires stick out pretty good, but I got to get this fixed before I start getting tickets. So I hope this audio comes through pretty good. I'm on an old headset flying down the highway in my semi truck, so. But other than that, thank you once again for the show, and have a good day there. I'm gone.
Well, hey, Chad, thanks for calling in, and I appreciate the question. We love the live questions, love to answer questions like this live on the air. And something about fender flares, Chad, I've actually gotten one of those tickets, those no fender flare tickets. They are not fun, and they are not cheap. So here's what I'm going to say. Since you've got a pretty wide open cut on your fender flares, it might be wise of you to consider perhaps a skin, something like a tube fender, for instance. I don't think the Bushwhackers or Napier precision flares or flares like that, the pocket style flares, are really going to cut it for you. You might run into a situation where you don't have any metal to mount them where they're supposed to be mounted, in which case you'd have to kind of get creative, and then the look of them might not quite line up just right. Won't look how it's supposed to look. So something like the Thor metal skins, they're like a 16 gauge sheet metal, and gives you provisions to weld onto to make your own tube fenders, if you will. I know Jeep Tubes is still selling kits out there as well. But something I saw recently that I thought was really cool, a complete kit, including brackets to go on the inside to really strengthen things up, a tube fender look, and outside armor to cover the quarter panel. This is for both the front and the rear. Are Rusty's, actually. Rusty's 4x4. Made in the USA, and the stuff is stout. I wheeled with a guy back in December who's got a set of these things, and my goodness, they are definitely beefy. The price tag is up there too. It's about $700 or $800 for a set of them, but that is a set of all four, and they're strong enough you could stand on them. So it'll give you an idea of what kind of punishment they can hold up to. They look good, and they're good enough for you to keep the cops off your back. So look into the Rusty's tube fenders with the fender skins, and I think that'll probably fit your bill just fine.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I mean, I got the Bushwhacker flares, full pocket flares for mine, and it looks good. But there was a lot of trash talk about bushcrackers, and you take them off road and they're going to break. And I actually ran one on a stump, and it did break it, but it's just a crack. You can't even really see it unless you look close. And but yeah, if I was doing it again, I certainly would look at the metal alternative, because it's the Bushwhackers were $450 or $430. So if you look at spending something that's double that, but all you're going to have to do is repaint it whenever you go up against a tree.
Yeah, exactly.
So
if that.
Yeah, exactly. So I certainly I go along with Josh on this. If I was doing it again, and who knows, I may take the Bushwhackers off and go with something like that in the future. You definitely can tell it whenever you're off road, the people that have the plastic and the people that have the metal. And the plastic's fine, but it just you're a little more serious about the off-road thing with the metal, I think.
Yeah, and they look cool too.
Yep. We got another one from Chad here. Let's see what else he has to say.
Hey, Tony and Josh, this is Chad calling back. I'd like to share with y'all a discovery I just made. If you're ever out in the middle of nowhere and you run out of washer fluid, I've discovered that if you mix 1 part rubbing alcohol, 1 part Windex, and 2 parts water, it will freeze your wiper blades to your windshield. Yep. Unfortunately, you can't see this, but yeah, they're frozen to the windshield. So that's my discovery I just made.
Oh, no.
I mean, hopefully y'all don't do what I just did, but it's going to be a fun day. I can tell you that. All right. Just wanted to share that with you. I'm hammered down. See you later. I'm gone.
I was getting the distinct impression he was going to 200% in his chemical mix there.
See, I thought he was going to go a different direction, something along the lines of a trucker bomb, which we occasionally see on the side of the freeway, and it's usually an orangish fluid, not a bluish fluid. So, oh, Chad, I hope you are able to unfreeze your windshield, get those windshield wipers working again. Yeah, the high water content, probably not such a good idea. I'd run straight Windex. If anything, of course, the alcohol. I'm kind of surprised with the alcohol because that's not supposed to freeze unless it's like a 10% out rubbing alcohol. In which case,
I guess it depends on how much the mixture was, how much was water, and how much was alcohol.
Yeah, so
I really thought it was going to be. I really thought he was talking about drinking it, and the only problem was when he pees in the snow, it's blue. You know, so that would have been a bad thing.
So many bubbles in the toilet. I don't know.
Scrubbing bubbles.
Hey, this is Mickey G, and I want to talk this week about lockers. I'll just talk to everybody filling up the form about lockers and stuff. I don't lock my Jeep all the time.
Oh, God.
It depends on which part of the neighborhood I'm parked in. If I'm in a sketchy neighborhood, I'll lock it. If not, when I'm at home, I just leave it unlocked. Sometimes I even leave the keys in it. But I never lock up my axles, because who would steal those things? They're firmly attached to the Jeep. I guess if I saw somebody hacksawing at it or wrenching on it once in a while trying to steal my axles, I would lock it up. But Other than that, I just leave them as is. All right, gentlemen, I will catch you later. Have a good one, bye.
And when he says chat at you later, that's a threat. Because he will. He will chat at us later.
More vehicle upgrade modification tips from Nikki G on the next XJ Talk Show.
You know, it's like reading something in the Inquirer. If you read it on the internet, it's not necessarily true. But I did read an incident where somebody had a built Dana 44, and I think it was a rear 44, and they parked their vehicle in Walmart parking lot. Went inside, they came back out, the 44 was gone. Somebody has literally gone up and cut that thing off and took it.
Wow, that is something else. I don't know. It could be an urban legend, but nonetheless, hey, maybe want to wrap a bike lock around your axles in Walmart. Who knows?
Yeah, how do you secure a rear end to your vehicle more so than the way it already is? I mean, seriously. I guess you could spot weld the nuts on the U-bolts, but those could be. I mean, somebody that's sufficiently ready to do to take it off there would have cutters or a torch, or who knows? Maybe they pulled up in a welding rig. I guess you could just load the whole damn thing on a flatbed and take it someplace else.
When you're in the Walmart parking lot, who knows what you're going to run into?
Amazing stuff. Hey guys, thanks a lot for the voicemails. And Josh, what the hell is that number for their voicemail?
That number, you guys can call in 24/7. That means nobody's going to answer, but you guys can leave as much of a voicemail as you want.
Up to 3
clean,
minutes.
dirty, who knows? But yeah, it's about 3 minutes long is all you get. 530-675-4102, 530-675-4102. We'd love to hear from you.
You can also use SpeakPipe right there on the XJ Talk Show website. Little pull up, drop down, whatever you want to call it. It has a little picture of a microphone on it. You click that, and then you use your PC, smartphone, iPad, whatever you're on that has a microphone, and you leave the message right through your computer. So
cool technology.
Yeah,
look at us all cutting edge and stuff.
Yep, more of the cutting. So now it's time for some YouTube love.
Gonna spread that love around, guys. We're knocking on the door of around 800 subscribers and about 250,000 views. Love those numbers, guys. Keep them coming. And of course, how you can help is by telling a friend. So make sure you guys are spreading the word about the XJ Talk Show. We pick 4 out of our list every week, and it's in no particular order. These are just a little spot we do to, give a little shout out to our subscribers and give a little bit of love back for you guys taking the time to subscribe to our little show. First on our list is Ellis Twert.
That's what I was thinking. I was actually thinking twerk without an E. And then we've got JREC26.
David Mullins in here.
And Victor McCoy. I like those good, solid American names.
Solid name right there.
So don't forget to go over to youtube.com/xjtalk and subscribe and leave us some comments on our videos.
Yeah, but who knows? We might just end up throwing one of those comments in here.
Hey folks, I'm Clyde and this is Tommy from the Pops Boys Horror House. You're listening to the XJ Talk Show with Tony and Josh. Cheers!
You're listening to a 4x4 Radio Network podcast.
Oh, now it's time for a little fireside chat. I have berated Josh enough where he does not talk while the Jeep is still in motion.
No, I wait for Tony to pull up to the campfire, to get out of his Jeep, close the door, and mosey on over here.
Hey, why do I always have to be the guy driving up?
That's a good question. I
can make a fire.
I suppose it was because of that federal ordinance that prevents you from starting fires.
Yeah, well, if you enjoy it too much, they don't like you doing it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I was actually, while we were going through our technical difficulties, I was telling the guys about my little heating problem, my little engine cooling issue that I was having. I'd get on the highway at a certain point, drive 70, 75 miles an hour, and it would start heating up, and it would get all the way up to 230, 235 one day. And the temperatures, that was around 80-degree air temps, and it certainly shouldn't be happening with the temps that cool, the air temps that cool. And but it was really strange. One day it would do it, and it wouldn't do it for another 3 days.
Very interesting.
Yeah,
gremlins.
The air temps. air temps would go up and down due to the weather. And but I got another thermostat that I was going to put in last weekend. Got lazy, didn't do it, and haven't had any issues. I'm still going to change it because I still think it's a sticky thermostat. I think that's what's going on.
It sounds like a sticky thermostat. That kind of issue. I mean, there's only really two things that's gonna cause that kind of an issue: is a sticky thermostat or something in the system clogging or blocking the flow of coolant through the engine
like
block.
an air bubble or something.
Right, and it does happen occasionally, but that would usually be an indication of either A, recent service, or B, a leak in the system somewhere else. In which case, you would eventually start seeing temperature increases, steady.
And I don't think you'd see it stop at 235. I think because it would allow the pressure would go down, so your boiling point would raise, and then it would boil over, and So the system seems to be fully closed because I'm not losing any fluid. I don't think it would cool down so fast either. So I think it's a thermostat that's acting up, and that's what you get for using the thermostat from the old engine, the cursed engine.
It's funny you mentioned something about using something from an old motor. Back when I was having my no bus issue, and you're going to have to go back about a dozen or so episodes or more to hear about what was happening with that. But when I was going through that and all the research that I dug up after I solved the problem, after it was discovered it was the vehicle speed sensor inside the transmission case was faulting out the 5-volt OBD2 system. I discovered that there is a difference between a 98 and a 99 computer. And one of those differences, and there's really not many but this one, is that the 98s use a slightly different voltage for the oil pressure sending unit. And yeah,
amazing.
And so I've been driving around with the more I accelerate, the less oil pressure I have, and as I come to a stop, the oil pressure goes up. So
that sounds like it's reversed.
Yeah, completely backwards. So I'm pretty sure that might be exactly what it is. Is maybe it's not a voltage thing; it's a voltage swap. And there's two pins in the computer that are different than where they should be. So one of the things that I have added to my laundry list of things I've got to do to my Jeep here in the coming weeks is to swap the old brain back in. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. So you actually have a 98 computer in your 99.
Right. And that was during the no bus issue. I swapped out the computer thinking that I had a bad PCU.
So you have the 99 laying there.
I still have the 99.
And that's real easy to change.
Right now.
Yeah, it's really easy to change.
It's 3-4 bolts and pops right out. So I've got to pull the air box and stuff as well. But to make that happen and make it easier to happen, I've got some stuff to do in there anyway. So
if you're not planning on hanging on that thing, you might want to because it's still a swap. But I was just going to say, if you don't want to hang on to that, I might buy that from you because I wouldn't mind having a 98 computer just as a standby. So keep me in mind if you want to get rid of it.
Well, Tony, I will give you first dibs. As of right now, I am going to hold on to it for my own sake of having a spare.
Yeah,
because I know it works. Yeah, I have one little issue. It doesn't throw a code. Even when it comes down, it's not down so far that it trips the check engine light or the check gauges light rather. I can run it if it comes down to it. So I don't think there's anything wrong with my 99 computer. I know what was causing the no bus issue. It's just by the time I found out, I had already swapped out the vehicle speed sensor, or I had already swapped out the brain.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I did swap out the vehicle speed sensor, I just didn't bother with the computer, and I didn't. It's not my daily driver. So again, it's not something I noticed until the next wheeling adventure out, and it's like, oh, hey, the oil pressure gauge is doing something weird. So and I had a little more research and digging up some of those forums, all the forums that I had posted on, asking all the Jeep people out there for guidance and help, and which I did get a lot of, and that's actually how I ended up finding out what it was. So thanks out there, all you Jeepers, fellow Jeepers out there coming together to help out another fellow Jeeper. So that's what it's all about, guys.
Yeah, it's wonderful. That is really interesting, though, and I find it also very interesting, as I did when you first told the story, that the vehicle speed sensor would keep the damn thing from running. I mean, it's not giving it any information other than, hi there, I'm right here, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Because when you're starting, you're not generally moving, and there's no vehicle speed. So, although I don't know, maybe the transfer case does turn, but it's a speed sensor, so I wouldn't think that it would be turning at all unless the wheels are turning.
It wouldn't. Yeah, it wouldn't turn at all unless the wheels are turning, and but it's part of the startup procedure where the PCM
but you don't need to know how fast you're going.
No, but what it does is it checks all the sensors all at once, and it sends out a signal and comes back. I mean, this all happens within a matter of a half a second or so.
I got you.
And it didn't pass
the
startup check.
But it shouldn't need to know that.
It's
a Jeep,
precautionary.
Damn it. It's a real Jeep, damn it. It's not one of these. It's not one of these Fiats. No, a Fiat might need to know how fast it's going, so it can, know when to deploy flaps and reverse thrusting and every other crap thing they put on it. But this is a real Jeep, damn it. We don't need to know.
Whatever happened to the days of a good old fashioned cable? A cable in a sheath connected to a gear in a tooth somewhere, and that's how you learned how fast you were going. Is you had a little cable spinning inside a sheath. It was attached to one thing and a needle on your dash. So. And
it was a mechanical connection. That's right. It was.
Now it's all got to be super hooty fancy 5 volt. It couldn't be 12 volt. No, got to be 5 volt.
Well, that's the computer stuff for you. Is the 5 volt. Yeah. So anyway, I got a few things to do this weekend again, and might actually get them done. We'll see. Definitely want to do the thermostat. I do. This is interesting. I went over to Amazon.com. And I accidentally left my universal joints and that thing that has the ball in it for the double cardigan.
Double cardan joint. Yeah, that's actually the cardan joint, I think.
Is it?
Or it's a CV joint or something along those lines. But I know exactly what you're talking about. I used to actually have that Spicer part number memorized too.
Yeah, I even bought one of those, even though it says it doesn't fit my Jeep. But through my research, I think it does. So anyway, I ordered a whole set because I need to redo my front drive shaft, and I left all that stuff up at Matt's shop because I was thinking I might actually have time to do it up there, on top of swapping the motor and everything. So I accidentally left that up there. So it's just, instead of driving 140 miles round trip, I just ordered another set, and I got another drive shaft. So when I get them, I'll have that for the other one. So anyway, I thought, this Friday I will let me swap that over. This Friday, or this weekend, I was going to work on some stuff, and I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and order these parts. Do you know they did Sunday delivery? So I could have swapped out those U-joints on my vehicle early Sunday afternoon, but I chose to be lazy and watch movies. So what are we looking at there?
We are looking at my buddy Mike's Jeep. He's got a set of JCR front and rear bumpers on there, and the JCR 1-ton under the knuckle steering, soon to be over the knuckle. But he just finished building this thing up. He got it about 2 months ago, and he's been slowly working on it. And this is what I'll be working on this weekend. No, not my own Jeep. Once again, I'll be working on other people's vehicles again. But we're going to go over there and put a new intake manifold and a new header on this. I believe it is a 98 Cherokee Sport that he's got here. He's got I believe it is the 4.5-inch Iron Rock off-road long arm kit on there. And like I said, the JCR steering. I believe he just put a Durango box in that as well. So he's definitely doing some nice little upgrades to that. He's going to do a hidden winch here pretty soon as well.
Okay, and, I was just getting ready to ask you, why would anybody put a custom front bumper on their Jeep that would not support a winch? I mean, I know they're cheaper, but
what he's going to do is it's going to go underneath the header panel and behind the bumper, and he's going to cut a hole in that brand spanking new JCR front bumper right there in the middle, and he's going to put a fair lead right on there, and then mount the winch behind that on a plate that's tied into both the bumper and the core support.
Well, that'll be fancy. You'll have to give us an update on that after he does that. I'd like to see and get some pictures up underneath too. I'd like to see how.
I know. He did the same exact thing on his old Jeep, and I used to have some pictures of that. But I think after he sold it, I deleted those pictures. So, but yeah, it'll definitely be coming soon. I don't even know if he has the winch yet, but that is in the works. So, but yeah, as soon as that happens, I'll make sure that I'm over there for the process and get some good pictures during, before, and after.
Excellent. Well, let's move this thing along because we've got an anxious Tammy Jeep Mama waiting to give us our Wrangler Talk segment, and let's get to our next item.
Detours Off-Road Hardware, guys, fabricating for the off-road community for over 15 years. Winch mounts, armor, tire carriers, and so much more. Made in the USA, all original designs, always innovating, never imitating. Got custom? They've got you covered. As always, Detours welcomes the challenge of your custom projects. True custom work, guys, is a one-off fabrication. Big or small, they're proud to be able to get their hands dirty doing it. Think they're too far away to help you guys out directly with your project? Detours welcomes both local and long-distance projects. So give them a call or email a photo or heck, even a sketch, and they'll see what Detours Off-Road Hardware can do for your project. Meanwhile, take a look at their gallery of custom projects they've helped others out with, and check out the complete line of products for your vehicle at detoursusa.com, or call them direct to discuss your project needs at 606-845-0024. That's 606-845-0024. DetoursUSA.com.
So, I can't tell you how much we appreciate the reviews around here at the XJ Talk Show, and we do get a few. We are up to date on all of our most current reviews, but we like to go back and remember a few of the reviews that we've had in the past, and this one's back from February 20th, 2014, about a year ago.
Almost a year ago,
about a year ago. And this is from one of our recent and very really daily in our chat room on xjtalk.com. We have a little chat up above every page on xjtalk.com, so you can actually monitor the chat while you're reading posts and stuff, and you don't it's kind of a cool thing, at least I think. And I think the folks that use it every day do. So, during the day when you're supposed to be working and you can get on xjtalk.com and chat, I would recommend that doing that very highly.
It's a lot of fun, especially when it kind of takes a turn for the weird and something comes out of left field and, we've got some characters on there.
Well, there was a couple of those today, wasn't there?
Yes, there were a couple of those. I wasn't able to participate as much as I normally do. And that's right, guys. You can find me in the xjtalk.com chat room just about any given day, especially Monday through Fridays. But yeah, there were some interesting stuff in there. And guys, it's not flaming, it's not criticism, it's not stuff that you're gonna have to wash your eyeballs out with soap and water from seeing. But it's just good, wholesome fun, especially once you get to know some of the characters in there. And one of them, like you said, Tony, was our friend XJ Jake. I think he's even submitted some of the stuff, some of our stories for This Week in Jeep as well. So he's been very active, not only on the site, but also helping us out here behind the scenes for the XJ Talk Show as well. So thanks, Jake, for the review that we're about to read. And, of course, thanks for all your help for everything.
And Jake gave us XJ Jake gave us 5 stars. He says, I love listening to the show. You guys are funny and informative. It's an easy listen for the drive to work, and I look forward to the new episodes coming out every week. Keep up the good work, guys. Keep it light, and thank you for the show, and love the forum.
Yeah, really nice, kind words, guys. And, like Tony said, if we don't get any reviews, well, we get really upset, and we're going to start lashing you guys. And the lashings are going to continue until morale improves or until we get a review, whichever happens first. So that means you guys are going to have to head over to iTunes, and if you have already, well, heck, do it again, or get your mama to do it. That'd be great. I want to hear from your mom.
We're going to hear from a mom here in just a second. There was
send a hate mail to Josh at xjtalkshow.com.
You said that lashes thing, and I remember my extra special junior high science teacher that liked to say 50 lashes with a wet noodle, and it was very strange.
I think I made a wet noodle comment in the forum at some point this week, and it's yeah. Well, we won't enlighten on that too terribly much.
No. All right. So without further ado, Tammy,
what a great segue into Tammy's segment,
who's barely staying awake over there because of all the technical issues, and I think we're probably a good 30 minutes late in the show tonight. So, Tammy, we want to thank you guys. Thank you for being there and waiting for us. And well, heck, let's just bring her up here. Tammy, what do we have for our Wrangler Talk segment tonight?
Well, I'm going to tell you about my Camp Jeep experience I had this past weekend.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
I saw the pictures up on Google Plus that you had posted up. Just a couple little teaser pics, and it looked like you were up on a balcony of some kind, looking down over what appeared to be a indoor obstacle course. It looked really, really cool. So I can't wait to hear about this.
yeah, let's get to it. Let's let the audience hear what happened.
Well, my neighbor across the street, she's a mom blogger, and she told me about the Washington Auto Show, and they have Camp Jeep there. And she was contacted by a PR firm, and she passed them my name, and they said, hey, why don't you come on out to the Washington Auto Show and come experience Camp Jeep? So I loaded up my family, minus my teenage son, because, he's too cool to be with mom and dad at Camp Jeep. So anyway, we headed down to the Washington Auto Show, and when we got there, we checked in and got our media passes, and we were looking all over for Camp Jeep. And we were upstairs, and there were, all sorts of auto dealers there and all the new cars. And we finally found them. They were downstairs below. And so we walked through the crowded show floor to Camp Jeep, and we found the line. And it was longer than a line at Disney World. But I was able to use my media passes like a fast pass at Disney World and sneak to the front of the line. Plus, I had a little help with Beth, who's one of the managers, to skip us to the front of the line. When we were walking through the line, she's like, got a VIP here, VIP. And I'm thinking, who's the VIP? And I'm like, oh, I guess that's me. So anyway, we got to the line, front of the line, and we had to check in with our driver's license and answer a few questions on their little survey, which I guess now I'll be getting lots of spam mail from Jeep, which
I'm sure.
I love mail from Jeep. But anyway, so then I got my Jeep pass, which I have right here to Camp Jeep. It's a little, lanyard with just a little card, but I'm saving it.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. So then came my turn to take a spin in. I picked the Wrangler Sport. They didn't have any Rubicons, but they did have a Cherokee. And now I'm kind of wishing I would have picked the Cherokee so I could tell the difference between the two, but I guess I'll have to wait till next time. So anyway, I'm ready to get in to drive the Sport, and the attendant opens the passenger door, and I'm looking at him like, what? I'm driving. They're like, no, you're not. And I'm like, but don't you know who I am? And he's like, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, but I own a Rubicon. I know how to drive these. I go off-road. And I even tried to show him my phone. I'm like, I'm Jeep Mama. And then I was going to show him pictures of my off-roading and all my selfies. And my husband just looked at me and he's like, just get in the Jeep. You're holding up the line. So I get in the Jeep, and Chris was my driver. And Chris, by the way, has a Cherokee of his own back in Florida where he lives. So anyway, he was taking us through the obstacle course, and I was telling him how I off-road and I know all about the Jeep. And so he didn't have to make his little pitch to me, because I guess when they take the passengers in the Jeep, they tell them all about, putting it in 4-low and all the Jeep's capabilities. So instead, through our little leisurely stroll through the obstacle course, Chris and I just discussed our Jeeps that we own and shared little Jeep stories. But the obstacle course shows the passengers about ground clearance, traction, maneuverability, stability, off-camber. And if you want to see some of the pictures, you can go to my blog at www.jeepmama.com, and we took some pictures of the different stuff. But I was kind of glad I got to drive in the passenger seat, because I got to experience what it's like, because I haven't been in the passenger seat off-roading. And I also was glad I could bring my family with me, so my husband could finally feel the thrill of what it's like to off-road. It's not exactly the same inside their little obstacle course, but you kind of get the feel of the Jeep and the scariness of going up the big mountain, the big Jeep mountain. But even though I was in the passenger seat, I prefer to be in the driver's seat, and I think I'll be staying behind the driver's steering wheel. But as a Jeep owner, this experience wasn't that great, because I already knew about the impressive off-roading skills that the Jeep has. But I think for new Jeep owners who've never been off-roading, and for potential Jeep owners, this is a great tool that Jeep is doing to get more people to buy Jeeps. And I think we'll start seeing more Jeeps on the trails after they do their little Jeep camp throughout the country, which could be a bad thing, to to have more Jeepers on the trails. It just will crowd them up, but we'll see what happens.
Oh, Tammy, we can't have the trails all to ourselves. We have to share this experience. That's why we're doing the show here. That's why you're doing your blog. You know, we want to get more people out there.
But I'm selfish.
Well, hey, if I was staring down the barrel of an indoor obstacle course and somebody was opening the door of a Jeep to me, I would expect them to be opening the driver's side door, not the passenger side door. I don't know what I would have done. I would have slipped somebody a 20. I would have sweet talked somebody, batted some eyelashes. I don't know what it would have took, but I would have, even if it was after hours, gotten my turn behind the wheel on an indoor obstacle course. But that's pretty cool, Tammy. Glad you got to experience that. It sounds like it was fun nonetheless. And of course, anytime you get to involve the family with anything like that, it just makes it extra special.
Now, I've got to ask. I remember from our interview, Tammy, that you were talking about you were the person that was interested in the Jeep mainly. It was your Jeep. You're the one that took it off road. Nobody else went with you, not even your husband. So, why exactly was this the first time your husband was in a Jeep going in an obstacle course, a semi off road type situation? The only thing I can think of is that you weren't the driver.
Probably. That's probably true. He fears for his life when I get behind the wheel.
Is there any kind of paybacks? Because my wife often says that, yeah, you do everything, and the side that's going to get hit is the passenger side that I'm on.
Right. That's probably the same for him.
Well, I was thinking maybe he did that to you, and he's thinking you're going to pay him back.
No.
All right. Well, it was worth a shot. Maybe not all men are the same, I suppose.
Probably secretly he's thinking that.
So overall, though, I guess it was an interesting experience from the standpoint that your family got to get a sense of in I guess a controlled environment where it wasn't so much a 3-hour drive, and it gives them a better idea of what kind of fun mom's having and the Jeep whenever you go off road.
Yeah, my youngest son, he has been with me when we were up at Nemacolin, but my husband hasn't been. So this was his first experience, kind of off-roading, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's much more than just a flat paved surface.
Right.
Did you hear anything from him about an interest in perhaps going off-road with you after this experience?
Well, we have a friend who is a mechanic, and they have been discussing lifting his truck.
Ah.
You can't lift your truck before my Jeep.
Oh.
So we might have a little competition going on here.
Yeah,
well,
it sounds like it.
I think we all three know, and everybody that's listening to the show and watching the show all know it won't be much of a competition between a full-size truck and a Jeep.
No, but he thinks he can outdo the Jeep. So maybe we'll have a little contest and we'll videotape it.
Oh, there you go. You know, there's a show that I DJ every summer down in the Oregon's capital, Salem, Oregon. It's the Salem Jeepers Summer Jam. Happens every year right around July or August or so. I think they're trying to get a permanent date locked in. But the sponsor is Robertson Motors, and they are a Jeep dealership down there. And every year, the goal is to create a little bit of an obstacle course within the confines of the show area. And it's it's nothing that any veteran experienced wheeler is going to really get all excited about. But what happens is you get like the 16-year-old kid, the 15-year-old daughter that comes out behind the wheel for the first time, the wife that has been on some wheeling trips or sees all the pictures and gets to get behind the wheel for the first time themselves, or even behind the wheel of a new Jeep. And Robertson Motors will come out with a new Wrangler or something else for the people to drive. Give them a couple choices and let them tool over this obstacle course. Now, it's nothing like what we saw in those pictures of Camp Jeep that Tammy was sharing with us, but it is nonetheless basically the same principle. You've never been off-road before. You've never been off camber or had to, engage something in four-wheel drive and worry about where you're going to put your wheel and spotting and stuff like that. And this introduces people to that kind of aspect of off-roading, the technical side of it. It's not all about horsepower, pedal to the metal and how much mud can we throw behind us. It gets people introduced to the technical aspect of things and really to see what a stock Jeep can do, even right off the showroom floor. So I'm glad to see this stuff is going around, and obviously, I mean, from coast to coast, Jeep is doing it themselves. We've got local shows that are doing this stuff. Obviously, this is something that's picking up, and hopefully, you guys out there, if you've got a Jeep show coming up, you're going to tell us about it as well. We want to hear what's going on in your guys' neighborhood. Show season is right around the corner, so you guys, this is a great opportunity to share with us what's coming up in your neck of the woods as far as Jeep goes.
Yeah, it certainly is. Well, Tammy, we really appreciate it. Did you have any final words? I know you mentioned your blog, and we'll tell those folks where they can find you again.
www.jeepmomma.com. And also, I just wanted to quick show you guys. I got this cool, I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, yeah.
Bag, 2 of them from Jeep for doing the Jeep experience. So I thought that was pretty cool.
It looks like it's some nice, thick material, too.
Yeah. It's really, this is the best grocery bag. Whatever.
And you get to do a little bragging, too. See, that's the other thing. You got to get lift, you got to get the tires. So when you're walking out there with your groceries, it says Jeep on it. And you're stepping up to put it in the Jeep. Everybody can go, look at her, midlife crisis. And they all wish they had the same thing. So
I'm having fun.
That's right. Exactly.
No, I'm jealous. Yeah, I do all the grocery shopping here. I 2 or 3 times a week, sometimes more, because if I get antsy and want to get something special for dinner, I'm in the grocery store a lot. Tammy, you're gonna have to send me a link or something. I'm gonna need a couple of those, I think.
Get a grocery tote for you, a Jeep one.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much, Tammy, and we'll catch you next week as long as you keep cranking them out. And you guys go over there and visit her blog, because she really does a really nice job over there with pictures and all kinds of Jeep information. And it's great because it's a perspective of not from, hey, I'm a Jeep god, I know everything about it. It's a learning experience, and she talks about what she's gone through to learn to get to where she is. She even talks about how she used the Loctite glue because she didn't know. I mean, it's supposed to hold the bolt in place, so glue, that makes perfect sense, right? But she's not afraid to share those little baubles, those little things with you, and might keep you from making the same mistake. So she's sharing that on her blog, and she's sharing it with us here on XJ Talk. Well, that's a show.
Shared, all kinds of stuff like that myself in my own build thread over at xjtalk.com. Yeah, I've got my fair share of oops photos in my own build thread, learning some of the stuff along the way myself. Guys, we are not experts. We do know a few things, though, and we have the microphones, and we love to talk about it, guys. We're just a couple of knuckleheads. Just goes to show anybody with some will and a little bit of equipment, they can make something happen. And that's just what we're doing here, guys. We couldn't do it without you. So we encourage you guys to make sure you're reaching out to us through all of our various channels. Facebook, make sure you guys are heading over to facebook.com/xjtalk.page. Make sure you guys are liking us, friending us over there. Of course, Stitcher Radio, iTunes, tunein.com. YouTube, guys, we definitely want your subscription, so make sure you take care of that as well. All over the web, guys, and of course, xjtalk.com and xjtalkshow.com, where our entire show archive is there for your guys' viewing and downloading pleasure for 100% free.
Absolutely. Oh, and we're doing a little a video thing for Bleeping Jeep. So if you guys don't already know about Bleeping Jeep, the YouTube site and bleepingjeep.com, you go over there and visit Matt, look at his all his how-to videos, and you'll see 2 bright, shiny faces that you're familiar with, because we're doing little video segments. The This Week in Jeep segment that we do here on the show, we're recreating that for Matt and his Bleeping Jeep videos. Go over there and show us some support, so Matt doesn't say, you guys are horrible, get the hell off my channel.
No, we could definitely use some good comments over there. So head over to Matt's Bleepin' Jeep YouTube channel, guys. You can find us there every other week doing a This Week in Jeep iteration through him. And guys, just because we look like we're professional, we know what we're doing, doesn't mean that you need to be scared about getting on the show. We do have a 3rd seat open. Just because Tammy's sitting there right now doesn't mean that you guys can't get in on the action as well and tell us about a recent wheeling adventure that you've had. Perhaps what's going on with your build thread, or what's happening in your town as far as Jeep shows, cruise-ins, or off-road events. Definitely want to hear about those when they come up. So make sure you guys are keeping us in the loop. Give us a call on our voicemail line, 530-675-4102, or send those emails to newstips@xjtalkshow.com.
So you guys have a great night, and as I always say, have a great Jeep week.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Wow, what a pain in the ass.
Yeah, so sorry about all that. I'm not sure exactly what I did, but that sucks. By the way, Tony, that is my favorite video outro that we have, is that one that you used tonight. I think that is by far the coolest that I've seen on anything on YouTube as far as video outros go. So,
you mean the social media one?
Yeah, the social media one. It's just so well put together, and it's so visually attractive and everything, and nobody has anything like that on YouTube that I've seen. All these other videos that talk about Jeeps and the other shows that I watch and stuff, they don't have anything like that. And it's this whole social media aspect of it. I mean, it's such a driving force in today's society now, and that really just epitomizes it. I mean, it just covers all the bases of social media with that one little outro, and it is so well put together. It looks so good. I just had to fluff your ego there for a second about that.
Well, $5 goes a long way these days.
Yeah.
So, that was so strange with the video and the audio, because once whatever was going on, because somebody was doing some sort of big download or something somewhere in there in the neighborhood, I bet you. And as soon as it went away, it was back to normal, and it's been fine. You took a couple of bobbles there, but nothing major.
Yeah, let's see. It was about 8:19 that we did. 10:19 your time. So about 10:20 is when we did the 15-second pre-roll, and that's when it started screwing up. And then it was about 9. Well, let's see, about 11 o'clock. So about 40 minutes later, it took about 40 minutes for it to finally clear itself up.
Yeah, gee whiz.
We'll call it about a half hour because there was some other stuff in there, and we had been going for a little bit before that. So. But yeah, I mean, a good solid 30 minutes of just ugh.
Yeah. So I have to tell you, Tammy, I had to check out when you were doing your segment, because after 2 8-ounce cans of Diet Dr. Pepper and a huge mug of ice, and after that 40-minute wait to try to get the show back on track, I had to bug out like I had to run downstairs and go to the bathroom. So I missed most of your segment. I was hoping I wasn't asking you questions that you had already gone over in the segment.
Okay.
Do you have my audio on?
Yeah, your video's on, and so is the audio.
Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh no, you didn't miss anything. It was, if you read the blog.
Yeah, that's
pretty much what I talked about.
Yeah, it's neat. That's great, and I think it's good too for the folks that do read your blog. They get a reinforcement, and they kind of get a live rendition of the written word, which I think is probably enjoyable. And those that haven't found your blog yet, or I'm sure get more interest in it by hearing the colorful stories. And I must say, I didn't hear it all, but I don't think that you were. How can I put this? I don't think you were as aggressive in describing the overall experience at Jeep Camp as it was whenever we spoke.
Oh yeah. Wasn't as mean.
As mean. There we go. The word. Yeah. That's the word. Yeah. She was a little more mean about the way, it was like Jeep Camp is it's so high school. I can't remember what you said, but it was like, it's so junior high, they're not doing anything. She's getting an attitude about off-road now.
Oh yeah, the drivers, they were just young kids.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at, I'm like, I can do this.
Well, that's probably their target market is. Well, actually, I don't know, for a $40,000 vehicle, I don't know how many kids are going to be buying them. So,
No, the people who were working, the drivers, they were all really super young.
yeah, it probably had to do with pay scale.
Yeah. But, you really don't want just Joe Blow driving that obstacle course, because when you come down the big mountain, there's like the barricades, like, I don't know, 10 feet from the mountain, because then you have to turn. And on the other side of the barricades is all the people seeing the auto show. And if somebody who doesn't know what they're doing coming down that hill goes through those barricades, they're going to stampede over all the auto show goers.
Yeah, if you've got some of the overpriced food and you're standing there watching, you got dinner and a show.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I'm amazed at those monster truck rallies whenever they make these jumps inside these arenas and they're flying through the air and they're trying to stop those multi-ton things with these huge tires that the brakes are nowhere nearly as big as what the tires are. And they do go up into the crowd from time to time. And I'm just shocked that they can actually do those type of things and not kill people every time they go out. I mean, if I'd ever seen anything that should be a completely outdoor event with the audience 6 miles away watching it on a video screen, it's monster truck stuff, especially these days, because, man, they fly those things 50, 60, 70 feet in the air.
I know. It's scary.
Anyway, so, all right. Well, I thought I would just chat it up here with you a bit, and we're going to get back to wrapping up the show here. And let's see. I see Josh busily working on our promo that we record after the show.
Yes, I am.
So we are going to pray to the internet gods and ask them to just hold off a little bit longer so we can get through our promo. I want to thank
I hope so.
I want to thank all you guys for coming out to the show. Great audience, great lively audience, and so I was just reading here something in the chat book. I'm really surprised by this. Papsboy says, I use a program called GIMP. It's like Photoshop, but free. Yeah, I know GIMP is. Does GIMP work on Macs, or are you running that on Linux? Well, I guess Mac is Linux, so maybe you can run Linux programs on the Mac. Anyway, I'm not going to wait the 30 seconds for him to hear what I just asked. But yeah, we had Paps Boys, Ron D, Jeep Mama, of course, and our all these folks in our chat room. I see something there from me, something from Steve, 4.3 LXJ, and of course Josh. So there was quite a few people watching the show that didn't jump in there into the chat room, and you guys don't be shy. Jump in there and chat it up. Let these guys know that you're there, and there's okay. So Paps Boy says it does. It runs on a Mac. So yeah, I guess that's because of the underlying Linux that the Mac uses. They just put their GUI on top of it, is my understanding. Alrighty, so we will be here next week, hopefully without any audio-video issues, and at least it wasn't me this week, Josh. I mean, I had a problem
yeah,
last week.
That's right, we did, didn't we? You faded out right at the end as well. That was a weird one, but that was a bad mic channel.
Yeah.
Not an internet thing.
Well, I got another insert cable that I was going to try, and it may just be a resetting that cable type situation, but I figured I'd get another cable just on the outside chance that it's a bad cable, and I just need to swap that out and see if it makes a difference, but it may be something very simple. If not, if it's a channel going bad on that unit, I'll just retire it and get another one, because they're about $60 on eBay. Maybe I'll spend $100 and get a new one. Actually, I think they're around 120 new. Alrighty, guys, we're going to wrap this up. We're going to record our promo. It's getting really late due to the technical issues that we had with the show. Thanks for hanging in there with us, and many thanks to Tammy Jeep Mama for doing our Wrangler Talk segment live tonight. And it really sucked for her being over there on the East Coast and having to wait through all our technical issues. Thanks very much for being a trooper. So you guys have a great night, a great morning if you're in that time zone, and we will see you next week. Also, remember the video that you just saw and the audio, the audio podcast will be available Monday, every following Monday. at midnight Central Time. So if you come to the show live, you get to see the show and hear the show. And if not, then you have to wait till Monday to hear or see it. You guys have a great night. We'll see you next week.